Part 3. Practicing Intuitive Mindfulness. Welcome to the transformative journey of developing your intuition through mindfulness. In this part of our exploration, we dive into the profound connection between mindfulness and heightened self-awareness, paving the way for blossoming your intuitive abilities. Intuitive mindfulness. Intuitive mindfulness is a practice that involves cultivating present moment awareness and tapping into one's intuitive insight. It combines the principles of mindfulness, which focus on being fully present in the current moment without judgment, with the guidance and wisdom that arises from one's intuitive and inner knowing. This approach encourages individuals to listen to their instinct, trust their inner wisdom, and navigate life with a heightened awareness of both the external environment and their internal guidance. In intuitive mindfulness, individuals seek to bring a sense of intuition and a deeper understanding to their mindful practices, fostering a harmonious integration of presence and inner knowing. Now, what would be practices that will allow us to be in this intuitive mindfulness? First, we want to understand mindfulness, even though we discussed it before, but I want to bring more clarity for anyone that might be confused. Mindfulness is the art of being fully present in the current moment, free from judgment or distractions. It involves cultivating an acute awareness of your thoughts, emotions, and the surrounding environment. By practicing mindfulness, you create a fertile ground for intuitive insights to flourish. An example of this would be, imagine sitting in a peaceful garden, fully immersed in the sights, sounds, and scents around you. This heightened state of awareness is a form of mindfulness that opens the doorway to intuitive revelations. So just like I explained before in previous lessons, when we are learning to master ourselves in many elements, especially intuition, it's really fundamentally all about fostering the right mindset where we can silence the noise in our mind, in our environment, so that by doing so, we listen to those very settled sounds and inner nudges within ourselves, the same way we would when in nature. So if you were to metaphorically say that the way we sit in nature, let's say you're in the middle of a forest and you're hiking and you're taking in the scent of the air, you're taking in the sensations of the heat of the sun that comes in and out through the leaves of the trees. You're feeling the wind. You're hearing the sounds of the wind blowing the leaves and the birds chirping and the crunch on the floor when you step on the leaves, on the dry leaves on the floor, right? All of these very subtle elements of that experience, you have to be present to pick up on, to be not only the experiencer of that moment, but the observer that is allowing itself to be within that experience, right? And it is only when we are mindfully present that we can truly pick up on those subtle notions of that experience. Because I say we are doing the same thing, but we are hiking, but with a group of people, and we're talking and laughing and so on. We can still be mindful under these conditions, but it's going to be a different focus. Now, we might not listen to the birds chirping, or really pay attention to the wind blowing, or really glaze or embrace the sunlight that comes in between the chilling air, but providing us subtle moments of heat from the sun, right? We don't really pay attention to those notions, but we might be mindful of the experience we are having with the individuals that we are with. Like the subtle laugh when I say a certain thing about a topic, and the way that a person might speed ahead because they want to be safe and not be so expanded. So they want to make sure we narrow down. So you might have this one person that, to make sure that we're all safe, they might speed up the process and be the leader in the experience to walk the path, leading the way. So you might be mindful of another element of that experience because there has been an introduction of other individuals that now also influence and affect the experience. So you see, the same way I gave you that experience as an example to kind of represent how intuition works. Intuition and being mindful in that intuition is us walking alone in the forest so that we can listen to what is it that we need to hear within ourselves. And sometimes when we want advice from those that we trust and love and care for, it's going to seem more like the second experience. You see, if you have a very important question about who you are as an individual, you need to go within yourself to find that answer, because no one outside of you is really going to tell you. Their focus won't be the same as the focus from any source of the external world is going to be focused on the external world. This is why when advice comes from a person that's outside of you, more than likely it's going to come with the concerns and the worry of the outside world, right? Instead of it being something that comes from the inside. So what does this look like? Well, if you ask your parents for advice on what your career should be, unless they're conscious aware, right? Consciously aware individuals obviously think different. They're going to pay attention to more different questions. But if they're not, and just like all of us grew up in this same mindset, well, is it going to pay you good money? Where are you going to live? You have to think about your future. All of these, right? They're reasonable, right? These are reasonable answers to the advice that we might ask. But what we are seeking is not necessarily those answers. What we are seeking is to ask ourselves those questions and us answer, how is it that we feel about the situation? Am I going to be happy? Am I going to feel fulfilled? Is it really my calling? Can I do this? If I was not to be paid for this, would I be able to feel happy doing it even for free? Is this my passion, or is it just something that I'm doing to make money, for example? These are all questions that we would ask ourselves so that we can get to the bottom of the answer, so that when we present our decision to the external world, it's coming from a place of certainty, of reassurance, because it is something that we ourselves win within ourselves to discover. So this is why being mindful of all those subtle emotions and thoughts and feelings and sensations is so crucial, so that we can get to the answers that we truly seek from within. Another way that we can reach this intuitive mindfulness is through the interplay of mindfulness and intuition. Mindfulness and intuition share a symbiotic relationship. As you become more present and attuned to your inner world, your intuitive senses become sharper. Mindfulness acts as a bridge, connecting you with your subtle whispers of your intuition. An example of this would be doing a mindful breathing exercise. You may notice a sudden clarity or a gentle knowing about a situation. This is a manifestation of the harmony between mindfulness and intuition, right? Because when we allow ourselves to silence the mind, remain present in the moment, we are allowing that clarity to surface, because now it has the opportunity to give us the nudge that we need to find the answers to the questions that we may have had prior, but didn't allow it to resurface because we were distracted. We were doing, not allowing the chance to be mindful, allowing ourselves the space in the room to just be still and present, right? Another way would be through cultivating mindful practices. Explore various mindful practices to discover what resonates with you. This could include meditation, body scan exercise, mindful walking, and even everyday activities approached with heightened awareness. Consistent engagement in these practices deepen your connection with intuition. An example of this would be incorporating a breathe mindful pause before making decisions allows you to tap into your intuition with intuitive wisdom. This deliberate pause enhances your ability to make choices aligned with your authentic self. So remember, don't be so rushed to make any form of decision. If you need time to sleep on it, a moment to pause, contemplate, so that you can pick up on those subtle notions and sensations and nudges that you need so that your intuition has the opportunity to respond. Allow it to be so. Because when we rush into things without processing and thinking it through, we end up in situations that we might later regret because we didn't allow that opportunity. But when we place the intention to never rush ourselves through the process of any form of decision making, and we allow ourselves to feel what is it that we need for ourselves and not what anything or anyone is telling us outside of ourselves, then we will be much happier with those results. And the next following thing would be the power of breath. Mindful breathing is a cornerstone of mindfulness practice. The breath serves as an anchor grounding you in the present moment. It is a powerful tool for quieting the mind and amplifying intuitive nudges. An example of this would be, imagine focusing on your breath during a challenging moment. This mindfulness technique brings a sense of calm and opens a space for intuitive guidance to emerge. Because breath work in itself is like a resetting of the mind and the body, right? It's like the amplification of a pause. Not only is it allowing us to take that pause, but it is allowing ourselves to not react impulsively to any challenging situation or moments in our life, because we are making the intention to remain mindful and masterful in all scenarios in our life, so that when we do respond without a reaction, we're coming from a place of certainty, of authenticity, of truth, and of integrity, right? We're not reacting, but responding with the wisdom that we are learning to gain from within, while integrating our ability of our innate intuitive knowing to the equation. Bringing us into the conclusion, by integrating mindfulness into your daily life, you're not only fostering self-awareness, but also elevating your intuitive capacities. As you practice mindfulness, observe how your heightened awareness becomes a conduit for intuitive insight. Embrace this harmonious stance, and may the journey of mindfulness lead you to the abundant realm of intuition. Bringing us into the question of the lesson. How has cultivating intuition enhanced your decision-making and daily life? Feel free to exchange tips and stories, creating a space for collective learning and growth in our community. Bringing us into the possible challenges that may occur during the lesson, with the first one being overcoming doubt, as learners may struggle with trusting their intuitive insight, leading to self-doubt and questioning the validity of their intuition. The following would be balancing rationality and intuition. Striking a balance between logical reasoning and intuitive guidance may be challenging for some learners who tend to rely heavily on analytical thinking. Another challenge would be distractions and external influences, as external noise and distractions may interfere with the ability to attune to inner guidance, making it difficult to discern intuitive signals. Another challenge would be impatience with the process. Impatience may arise as learners seek quick results in developing intuition, potentially hindering the natural flow of our intuitive learning journey. Another possibility would be the interpreting symbolism. Deciphering and interpreting symbolic messages and intuitive cues may pose a challenge as learners grapple with finding personal meaning in those symbols. Another would be balancing intuition and emotions. Emotions can sometimes cloud intuitive insight. Learners may find it challenging to separate emotional responses from genuine intuitive guidance. Another would be fear of making mistakes. The fear of making the wrong decision based on intuition may hinder learners from fully embracing and exploring their intuitive capabilities. And last, consistency in practice. Maintaining a consistent practice to develop intuition may be challenging due to busy schedules or other priorities, impacting the progression of intuitive skills. Addressing these challenges within the context of Lesson 11 can provide learners with insights and strategies to enhance their intuitive development journey. Followed by the following pages of my information as well as our social links where you can go ahead and support our channel, share and like so that we can expand on our community. Thank you.